by veterans in our region, the closest VA clinic is in Harlingen and the closest VA hospital is in San Antonio. Should a veteran need to visit a doctor, they must arrange an appointment approximately 4 to 6 months in advance because of understaffed facilities. If elected, what do you plan to do to change this situation?
First thing you have to do, being a veteran, is to go to all the veterans that live here in the Valley. There's over 100,000 veterans that inhabit the Valley here, most of them minorities. We need to get them together, garnish our effort together, and fight for our resources that we've earned. We need to come together and go to Washington, D.C. As your representative, I will do that. I will give a voice to the veterans, being a veteran myself, and I will go and I will speak out to the VA, and I will speak out to when we're making the budget up there, and tell people how and tell the budgetary office how we need a veterans hospital down here, and they need to allocate funds for us down here. To have to go to San Antonio for your veterans care, for real veterans care, is a slap in the face. And I will fight to bring that hospital down here, but in order to do that, you're going to have to get the vets together. You're going to have to get the vets together and give us a common voice. We're going to have to go speak loudly for those resources. We're going to have to think outside the box of how we can get those funds, those allocations, and where they're going to come from, probably from the VA, but from other places, to get that VA hospital down here. And the only way you're going to do that is through hard work and through effort and through communication.
Thank you. This is an issue that is very near and dear to my heart. For many years, I have worked with the veterans and the military families for years. As a matter of fact, I had a lot to do with the new facility. We've come a long way from what we had, prior to 1994 and 1995. So, absolutely, to answer your question, absolutely, we need to vehemently continue to fight for a VA hospital here. Now, knowing the budget situation the way it is, what we have to do is to continue to encourage all of our veterans, and particularly our returning veterans from Afghanistan and Iraq, to register. Many of our veterans do not register. That is the key thing, because when you build a hospital, it's very costly. You have to look at the cost-benefit ratio. But the good news is this. Senator K. Bailey Hutchinson had a study done by Booz Allen, and what they came out was that we basically needed a very expanded, high-tech medical clinic, which is what we have now. Prior, we had nothing. Right now, the veterans do not need to go to San Antonio. Only 5% of veterans need to go to San Antonio for very serious type of operations. But every type of care that a veteran needs is done here, not only at the healthcare clinic, but they also have now started contracting, where we actually have hospital beds because we have a contract with Valley Baptist Medical Center. Is that good enough? No, it is not, and we have a long way to go. But what will happen is once the state, and I believe this is what's going to happen, once the state begins to expand our Regional Academic Health Center into a teaching hospital, then you will begin to see things begin to happen for our VA hospital. So I will definitely continue to have that as a forefront on my agenda to continue to push for a hospital for our veterans in South Texas.
Thank you. My grandfather was a World War II Navy veteran, so I'm very familiar with the issues pertaining to access to medical needs for our veterans. And I have friends also that are veterans from Marines, the Army, and the Navy. And I've heard firsthand on the needs of our veterans. I've talked to them, I've visited with them, and one of the things that has come out is we need a veterans hospital for South Texas. We need access so that our veterans do not have to go outside of the Valley, all the way to San Antonio. There's a clinic in Harlingen. But what I'm hearing out there, ladies and gentlemen, what I like to push for is not just a veterans hospital to have right here in the Rio Grande Valley. In the meantime, as Ms. Blanchard pointed out, because of constraints perhaps in the budget, in the meantime that we have a fully fledged hospital built right here in South Texas. We need to have the federal government, this is something I would fight for you and all the veterans. We need to have the federal government invest in the medical facilities. We have some of the highest standards of care right here in South Texas. And what's happening is a lot of our veterans are going to our clinic and are going elsewhere and are being sent to specialists all the way to Edinburgh, all the way to all the areas in South Texas to get their care. We need to invest perhaps in these medical institutions that have some of the highest quality care and provide veterans with the care that they need. We should not have a Veterans Way or a Veterans Hospital to have the care that they deserve right here in South Texas. So I will fight hard for that. It's not just a Veterans Hospital. It's providing funding for the medical institutions here in the Valley in South Texas so that our veterans are cared for. Thank you.
Undoubtedly, we're all for veterans, and especially a Veterans Hospital. My father is a war veteran, my brother is a war veteran, so I understand the needs there. I think the point that we're missing here again is that we need to be more aggressive, folks. We need to start thinking outside the box, like Mr. Aycock indicated. But the way I see that we should think outside the box is that we should get together with our universities that we have here in our area and bring more veterans to our area. There's strength in numbers. How do you say we do that, and why do we bring them here? This is what we do, folks. We spend millions and billions of dollars training our military personnel in engineering, police work, medical work, any kind of field you can think of. When they leave the service, they have to go back to university and start from scratch. They may get an hour or two here, or an hour or two there, but they have to start from scratch. It's very demoralizing, it hurts our veterans, and it creates the problems that we have now. You bring them into universities like UTB, TSC, TSTC, and any university that we have that's available, that's willing to do it, and you start them out using their education and experience from the military and start them somewhere above the regular student and get them out there, get them trained in the field that we spend billions of dollars training them in to come out here and work in our environment, relocate to South Texas, bring their GI Bill down here where the universities will use that money. They're going to move to the Valley. They're going to move to Cameron County. They're going to need housing. They're going to need restaurants. They're going to need places to take their children. They're going to bring economy and economic stimulus to this area. This is something we have to do, folks. We have to band together and bring more down here and bring their dollars with them. And from there, I guarantee you, we'll be listened to. Thank you.
Yes, we do need to spend